Welcome, Amakhosi Network. Welcome to the channel. Today we're talking about our team Kaizer Chiefs and where we come from in this season and where we're at currently in this season. Because I think we have to talk about what has happened in our season thus far. We've played about 8 games in the league. We've played CAF Confederation Cup. We are out of the Carling Cup. There's a lot that we have to talk about. But before I get into that, please like, comment, and subscribe. First, I would like to say this, after the Carling Cup, I don't know why, I haven't been motivated by my team. I won't lie and say, look, when Khalil and Kaizer took over, the football started looking enjoyable to the eye. There were less mistakes at the back. I think a lot of stability came into our team. You would be lying if you said Chiefs has looked troubled in the last, 3 games that we've played. I think after that Marumo Gallant's blunder where we played too many defenders, after that, Chiefs has looked very stable. And I say in terms of controlling the game, controlling the tempo of the game, the number of chances we created in those games, everything has been stable. And when I say everything has been stable, since the Marumo Gallant's game was a draw, Kabuskop was a loss, then it was one loss. Then we played Marumo Gallant's was a draw, Kabuskop was a win. Then we've drawn basically our last games. Amazulu draw and now Stellenbosch draw, which is technically a loss but a draw. In the records, it's a draw, but we know we knocked out of the Carling Cup. And that's why I'm saying they brought a lot of stability, because in those games against Stellies, yes, had good shape and stuff, but we had enough chances to beat them. Against Marumo Gallants, we had enough chances to beat them, even with our very bad setup, and all the other games. The problem is just scoring. We're just not scoring, and we're not scoring the amount of chances we're creating. We have a top quality striker in Kanyisa Mayo, but for whatever reason, he keeps bumping into his own players. I don't know. He's just not reading the game the way it's meant to be read. He's making mistakes. He's stealing goals from his teammates. He's stealing good opportunities from his teammates. But then there are moments where you see his top striker quality, but we can tell he's not a player. The team has really trained him to understand what he plays like. And you can tell he's a player that hasn't received enough instructions from the coaches, because he's clashing with his players. He's in the right positions, and sometimes it's just not. But let's talk about our season. This season we're having this year, basically summarizes everything we've been dealing with over the past 10 years, since the drought of Stuart Baxter, since we won the league last with double Stuart Baxter. This season basically takes everything we've gone through, right, in the past few years, including last season, even though we won a cup, but we saw how we finished the league. It takes all of that and it sums it up in just a few games. We've only played 2 CAF Confederation Cup games. We've only played 1 Carling Cup game. And when we've played 8 league games. And having played all of these games, this is the summary that we have. And the summary that we have is this. Our management is so bad at their job that when we are having a tough time as fans, they make it worse. When we're having a good time as fans, they take away the goodness from us. And when we lost, they throw us even into more loss. Like we are lost. When we were out of coach, we were like, okay, maybe they're making this decision with a plan. Now when you pick up your head, you're like, no, these guys had no plan. We are lost. We are lost the people leading us are lost, right? And we as fans, we can have opinions, right? And our opinions, we can make because a lot of the times the biggest thing that happens in life and football is that people say, stop complaining, come up with solutions. As fans, we can tell you what solution could work, but we can't implement it, right? Majority of us want Pitso, but majority of us will then say, But will Pitso be able to do what he can do with this current management? Because Nabi, who is basically has the similar energy as Pitso, struggled. So that means that Pitso will struggle. And that's our reality. We with a management that will take good things and make them terrible. We don't know the reason why, because no one has come out to tell us the reason why we don't sign players. They just tell us that players are too expensive. But then these guys sell out merchandise like nobody's business. These guys make millions and millions and millions, but will fail to go and sign an 8 million rand player. Like, it will be very difficult for them to do that. The numbers that have been thrown around based on how many jerseys Kaizer Chiefs has sold are crazy, or are actually insane. But we don't see the results of those jersey sales. We just see we are functioning like a poor club. And that's, I don't know how else to say it. We are functioning like a poor club that just knows how to pay salaries, good salaries. I don't know what that means, but it is what it is. But let's talk about our management, man. I always try to avoid it because we can't control the management. We have to oftentimes. That's why fans attack coaches at Kaizer Chiefs. Fans attack players at Kaizer Chiefs. But these are not the people we should be attacking. Because I was in a Twitter space the other day, and the fans kept attacking the players. And there's a consensus with some fans. They say certain players should not even wear the Kaizer Chiefs jersey. And I keep asking those fans this. I'm like, Buffett, guys, let's be honest. If Kaizer Chiefs offers you're not a soccer player, but if Kaizer Chiefs comes to you today and say, I'm going to give you 100K to put on a Kaizer Chiefs uniform and go help us in the midfield, will you say no? That time you haven't played soccer in how many years? You're probably 40 or whatever. You haven't played soccer. But if Kaizer Chiefs comes and offers you 100K, you're acting like you will say, no, I'm not good enough for Kaizer Chiefs. No, you won't say that. You will take that job and say, I'll go see what happens. I'll go see what I can do. That's what all of us will say. No, unless maybe you come from a wealthy family, maybe you're a billionaire, maybe those are the people who will say no. Shame. I'm a centenary, but I take it without even asking questions. I say, when do I start? That is my answer. But anyway, the season is difficult to assess. We started off the season well. Now it's just going bad. And it's not even bad like we're losing every game. No. We've basically only lost one important game. And that's basically... And I say loss as in we actually lost the game. And that's Sekhukhune. Apart from that, we've been drawing, which still feels like losses. Because, the draws we've been having have been against weak teams. And the Stellenbosch draw was very painful because now we're knocked out of the cup. So now here's where the big problem comes in. Having said that, there's still some fans who don't like the players. And I agree, the players are not maybe the best of players, but our squad is good enough to compete. And that's, I think, one thing people must not take lightly. The current squad we have right now is good enough to compete in any season, any league. They're good enough to be on top. Because if you look at Sekhukhune, who is there by the top, and you look at our team, I can argue that our team has better quality than Sekhukhune. It's just that Sekhukhune puts the ball in the back of the net and they have a top quality striker. But let's talk about the big problem in this. And the big problem is this. We are now in the FIFA break, right? We are in the FIFA break and there has been no communication around who is going to coach Kaizer Chiefs next. There is no communication around what's the next plan. There is no communication, which goes back to that point we're always making, that our management is lost. They are really lost. They don't know what's going on. They are lost themselves. Because I say this because they fired Nabi, or suspended, technically, which now it feels like a firing. They fired Nabi. They left his assistant coaches. But it seems like they didn't have a plan because they, in their mind, the assistant coaches were going to what? Win. The assistant coaches are not winning. So now the question is, should we carry on with these assistant coaches who are looking like they're in a phase where they're struggling and they're making bad decisions in their game? Or is this the best time where we should be bringing in a top quality coach? But here's the other problem. Because Kaizer Chiefs fears success in the phase that looks like Pitso is the best solution for Kaizer Chiefs. Has been the best solution for Kaizer Chiefs for many years. We were meant to have signed Pitso many years ago. But every season Pitso becomes free and we don't have a coach, we choose to not sign him. Okay. Then we go, and now what Kaizer Chiefs is going to do is that they're either going to tell these guys to run out the rest of the season while they look for a coach. Maybe they're going to bring that coach in the World Cup, AFCON break, maybe. Or hopefully they bring him now, but it doesn't look like there's much movement there. Or what they're going to do is also they're going to bring a European coach. And I'm going to say this. If these guys go and bring a European coach right now, our season is as good as done. There is nothing we can salvage from that season. Why do I say that? If you go and get a European coach, he does not know the team, probably doesn't know the PSL, probably will need this full season to analyze his team. He will get there, and the players that Chiefs signed to long-term contracts, he will want to get rid of. He won't understand the league. He's probably going to bring his assistants. It's just going to be difficult if you bring someone like that. It's going to be difficult because the PSL is not Europe. The technical ability of PSL players is not the technical ability of Euro players. The background of PSL players is not the same as the background of Euro players. A lot of the players in the PSL don't come from difficult backgrounds. Then there's South African culture you have to understand, and all of those things. I think Farouk Khan said it in one of his videos, is that when you speak to a European coach and then a black player tells that European coach, Guti, banomsebenzi, or there's a cleansing at home, the Europe coach won't understand a thing about that. And then he's going to say you are not serious. When you're telling him, Guti, no, but this is an important thing in our family and culture, you won't understand these things. And Farouk was saying that these are the things that they had to manage as coaches at Kaizer Chiefs, when players had to go and do these things, these cultural things at home. You can't just say no. You need to figure out how to help support the player in those instances. But yeah, we as Kaizer Chiefs, it's going to be difficult for us. Look, in a perfect world, things turn around. Even if we don't get a new coach, these cards, they turn things around in a perfect world. But in a bad world, things just keep getting worse. And we don't know where we are right now. We don't know where we are. The football is looking clean, good. We're not really conceding a lot of goals. We're managing games well, etc. But the ball is not hitting the back of the net despite the amount of chances we create. Goes back to the serious problem we address each and every year. Why do our strikers not have a striker coach? We know our strikers are not scoring. Why not hire someone whose primary job is to teach these guys what to do when they're in goal-scoring positions? Because sometimes it feels like that's where we're lacking. A lot of our players are playing on instinct, playing on natural talent, and sometimes that is not good enough. But anyway, Amakhosi.